What's up, guys? What's growing on? So we just got to Punta. We took a boat ride here, and these guys got us here pretty safely. And let's see if you guys can see the boat we came in on. Punta. So this is supposed to be one of the most developed permaculture sites here in the country. This is Stephen Brooks' site, and because it's so far from San Jose, he started that new site, Ecovillage. We made a video there too, don't worry. That's the one with the epic market garden, but this is supposed to be like a really developed permaculture site. We're going to be having lunch here, we're going to be getting a tour around the island. Super excited to check the joint out, so let's see what we got going on. Dude, are you as excited as I am about this place?
Yeah, bye.
This could be it, right? This is like the one.
This is the one, yeah.
Dude, I mean, do they really keep getting better here? What's the deal?
I don't know, we saved the best for last, I think.
What the beep is going on here? All right, you ready to check this place out, right?
Watch out, there's cacao.
Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Watch your head.
Hey, watch your head, watch your head. Boom!
Devin, I'm from California. I live and work here at Punta. I also I'm a photographer and videographer, and I do a lot of the media work here. I also really love to cook and support in the kitchen. And I came down here to learn more about developing a piece of land and kind of the more more about developing a farm and developing a community. I've lived in community, and I've been working on different farms for about 5 or 6 years now. I really believe in cooperative community, and this place is just it's a constant mirror for personal growth, and a really good place that forces you to expand your skill sets and push your comfort zones every day. So I really appreciate it for that, and yeah, I'm excited to share with you what this place means to me.
Sweet, let's check it out.
Cool. So yeah, this is a permaculture farm and a botanical collection that's been established for about 25 years. This piece of land used to be an old cacao plantation. There was essentially a village of people that farmed this area and produced cacao here until a blight hit all of Costa Rica and wiped out a lot of the cacao that was being grown here. And so those people ended up moving away and farming in other places, and kind of the oldest relic that we have here of those days is Patty's house, which is over here, and it's still standing. It's still preserved. Patty was an old Caribbean man. He's a fisherman and a farmer, and he kind of inspired Stephen to fall in love with this place and to create what exists here today. He lived on this piece of land. I believe his ancestors were part of the original group of people that were farming cacao here, and so he was essentially practicing permaculture, years and years ago. Permaculture in itself is essentially it's very much tied into how people have been caring for the earth for thousands of years, into indigenous civilizations and the way that they interacted with plants and the way that they had that respect for the plants and for the earth and for the sea, and the way that they design their systems more in harmony with nature as opposed to just mass producing things. And so Patty had his little garden and his little farm in this area, and a lot of the fruit trees that he planted and things like that are still standing around us today. A lot of these cacaos and these ornamentals, these breadfruits, and ackee trees and things like that. Those are still there from when he was here. And so Stephen came here about 25 years ago and met Patty. Stephen and his dad were out on a fishing trip, and the seas got really rough, and they had to come here just to take refuge from high seas. And so he met Patty and just started talking with him about what this place was, and he ended up developing a friendship with him and learned a lot from him. He was like a huge mentor for Steven and an inspiration. And yeah, Patty was kind of a legendary person. All the fishermen from the village would come here and hang out and play dominoes, and you know, they'd have a fire here every night. And from what I've heard of people who were here during that era, it was just like there was constantly people coming here, and constantly he was feeding people and taking care of people. And he would say, plant for yourself, plant for your neighbor, plant for the animals, and plant for the thief. And I really like that quote. It's kind of it's a good philosophy that Steven still teaches to this day. And so that's kind of how the abundance of this place started getting generated. And so Steven came here and stayed here with Patty and lived with him for a little while. And then eventually Steven and his dad acquired this piece of land and started this project. And so Steven's been kind of a plant nerd and a fruit tree connoisseur and geek for a long time. And he's collected one of the most extensive collections of tropical fruit trees and plants in the world. And so yeah, I'm gonna tour you guys around and give you the best I've got of plants, medicinal plants, fruit trees, things that are growing here natively. Our structures, a little bit of the history, what we're trying to do with our vision, what the community aspect is, and so I'll try to infuse a little bit of all those things into our tour. So yeah, Punta Mona actually does mean monkey point, and I think that this, don't quote me on this, but I think that at one point there was there was some sort of like bridge or something to the island, and all the monkeys would like converge on this area.
Wow.
And yeah, so this was this point of land was named Monkey Point. I feel like there's a lot of rich history that you can kind of just feel here with this island. You can imagine that, like, indigenous peoples that kind of felt the power of this spot. There's this beautiful island and kind of this point where there's like a nice kind of protected bay around here, and where there's obviously a really, really beautiful piece of land. It's kind of a place that's been inhabited by a lot of different people, and it's you can really feel that when you step off the boat and step into this place. The coconut trees, the way that these all got here was that coconuts fell in other places, potentially on Caribbean islands, from other places, and they drop into the sea and they float here, and they're able to still germinate and to produce coconuts. This is kind of a nursery of sprouting coconuts. Sometimes we take coconuts from the beach that are sprouting and take them back and plant them on the hill back there. Right now we're creating an area for cultivating more coconuts a little bit further back in the jungle. And so we have the younger ones that fall, or that we harvest, that are early on in their stage of growth are called pipas, and those are the ones that people drink for water. When you see people walking around with coconuts with straws in them, they're drinking the water of the young coconuts. And then we also have ones that are further along in their stages of development that are called cocos, and that we use those for the meat. They're the ones that have a little bit harder of a husk. Sometimes they've turned brown, and we use machetes to peel off the husk. It's a bit of a process, and it really makes you appreciate where your coconut oil, your coconut milk, and all your coconut products come from. And so we have a grinder in the kitchen that I'll show you guys, where we crack open the coconuts, we grind them up, and then we make coconut milk out of them. And we do that many times a day. And it grows.
Say it one more time.
Yeah, it's called Culantro Coyote, and it grows. You can try a little piece of it. It grows natively here, and it has a lot of the same constituents and compounds that regular cilantro has. And it's actually, to me, it's a little bit stronger, and it's a staple in Caribbean cooking. These are used a lot of times for fence posts in the tropics. Yeah, it's called Madero Negro. It's a really incredible nitrogen fixer for your soil, so you can plant it. A lot of people make fences out of it. Another name for it is quick stick. You can see it quickly puts out shoots and leaves, and you literally can take a cutting of it, a stick of it, plant it in the ground, and you'll have a nitrogen fixing tree that serves as a fence. You can whack off the top and not have the foliage coming out, but it's an incredible building material and a good thing to have in your ecosystem. This is one of our favorite salad greens that we have on the farm, and I'll pass it around and I'll invite you guys to tell me what you think it tastes like. Or if you can, extra points if you can guess what it is.
I know what the leaf looks like. Is it what I think it is?
I know what it is.
Okay.
You know what it is?
It's amarella, right?
Dwarf amarella,
June
right?
plum.
June plum.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nice.
Yeah. We have these in
Excellent.
Florida.
Nice. Yeah. Super delicious. Super high in vitamin C. We like to chop it up and put it in our salads. And it's yeah, it's one of our favorites. We've got it growing in several spots on the farm. So we're just kind of coming into our zone 1 area. This is, you know, surrounding our kitchen, the heart of the farm. We try to keep these beds pumping with food and with medicine and trying to make sure that they're really highlighting some of the beautiful species that we have here. This is a vanilla vine, and we also have black pepper climbing the same tree. You can see right here. This is this is green black pepper, and it's absolutely delicious. We make fresh green peppercorn sauces out of it. You can give it a try. It's definitely spicy when it comes right off the plant. But it's one that
They're good. I like these in stir fries too.
What's ripening over here?
This is yerba mate.
Oh, you guys are air layering it,
Yeah,
huh?
we are air layering it. So this is an interesting one. In you know, normally this tree would never be allowed to get this big. When it's cultivated on mate plantations, it ends up being a much smaller shrub. But this one, I believe that we haven't been able to get this one to flower, and so we propagate it via air layer. And it's an interesting one to connect with. It's nice for people to see because a lot of people have a connection with mate. A lot of people drink mate, but they've never seen what the plant looks like.
Yeah.
So it's
The first for me.
yeah, it's a nice one to have. This is another vanilla vine.
More the vanilla. Nice.
It's right here. Looking for the ones that are a little bit yellow. Oh, everyone just broke in my hand. This one is called blackberry jam fruit. I'm not sure exactly what you guys may know the real name of it. Blackberry jam fruit.
Yeah.
Delicious. It's got kind of a hard shell. You can crack it open with your teeth or with your fingers.
So this is delicious. I've never tried one.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It tastes just like blackberry jam. It's got little seeds, and you can just spit the seeds out.
Y'all ready for this? That does taste like blackberry jam.
Right? Super beautiful, healthy cacao tree. We also have a lot of different heliconias that are popping off right now.
I know, they're gorgeous.
This is a noni tree. Noni leaves are also used kind of similar to how people use comfrey for curing broken bones and things like that. People like kind of macerate or kind of crush up the leaves a little bit, and then you can apply it over a wound. Or if, we have a friend who broke his wrist playing on the beach here, and he had a doctor tell him to just wrap it up in noni leaves and do a soft cast with it. And so he was wrapping it in noni leaves for months, and it kind of penetrates transdermally in there and works to heal your bones, knitting back together. And then also, I love the blue cheesy smell of that fruit, but it's an excellent one.
Scratch and sniff, guys.
Yeah, scratch and sniff. This one's fragrant. Once they fall to the ground and they're kind of translucent and squishy, that's when they're really when they get really stinky. And when I like to take them in the kitchen, I just squeeze them and juice them out, and we make like a vegan blue cheese dressing because they have that really stinky blue cheesy flavor. And you can actually there's some sort, I believe it's some sort of yeast that exists on the noni itself, and you can create a really nice fermentation out of it. I learned how to make a special noni salad dressing where you mix all the ingredients, all the oils, and you know, whatever else you're gonna put in there. We put nutritional yeast to give it a cheesy flavor and stuff, and then you let it sit in a bucket for a couple days, and you let it ferment, and it'll actually start to form little clumps in there, just like a blue cheese dressing would, like little bits. And it's like bubbly, and some people think it's disgusting, but I love it.
I guess if I leave one of these in my rental car, I might lose my deposit, huh?
That's very true.
What are we working with over here, Devin?
So this is bark from the cinnamon tree that we have here. We've got a couple different cinnamon trees, and basically we harvest branches of it, and using a knife we shave off little shavings of the bark, and then on a sunny day we put them out on a sheet tray in the sun, and we're left with this, and then we put it into one of these kind of old school grinders, and we grind it up just like that.
Good old manpower.
That's
huh?
right. Yep. Really makes you appreciate where your cinnamon comes from. And it's you can give it a shot. It's some of the most delicious, like, aromatic cinnamon you'll ever taste. We grind it into powder and make medicine out of it and use it in our cooking on the farm. And it's absolutely delicious. It's really good for your tummy, for all sorts of different issues, for stopping up diarrhea, for a lot of different things. And yeah, something that I'm really grateful to see the whole process of growing. It's something that's in every kitchen in the world, and it's cool to see the whole process of how it's made. You know, a lot of times we'll have our medicines or our foods that we're taking a lot of. We have our greenhouse over here that's part of our zone 1. It's part of the heart of our kitchen. We've got lots of different salad greens growing in there, things that you can't just grow out in a bed in the jungle, things like our brassicas, our arugulas, you know, our dill, our kale, and other plants that don't do so well in a non-greenhouse environment. Those are all kind of part of our zone 1, and we're expanding it right now. We've got people working on a new side for expanding our greenhouse so we can grow more of those things that require a little bit of a drier environment.
So I'm actually harvesting salad for lunch. So I'm picking the leaves that pretty much the plant we do they don't need anymore, so we can keep pruning every day and getting more and more greens, and just keeps giving. It's great.
Wow.
So we've got mustard greens, different types of kale, we've got rocket, and then we interplant a lot of herbs as well to keep the pests at bay. We've got dill, which is going to seed right now. We've got basil, and then we have the tomato plants, which the leaves are very strong flavours, so they technically keep the pests away. We'll see what happens, and the guests. No,
nice.
yeah, so this is what we harvest every day for salad, and it's awesome. We have these fresh green salads that have just been picked and full of energy, and yeah, you can feel it when you ingest them. It's beautiful. So, and then we're extending it out. We've just made a new roof because we just want to get more and more so we can feed all the guests. So we're going to spread more kale out and different lettuces. But then obviously you've got to, like, in the tropical climate, it's so humid here, you can't just have your regular iceberg or your your temperate climate lettuces. So we found ones that actually thrive here, and as long as they don't get the rain, then they're great.
Right now we have 19 people who are living here, essentially, who are volunteering, and we have a variety of different sort of situations that people can have. We have internships, we have volunteerships. People can do a permaculture course here, and then they can stay and intern. And you can check out the rates for those different types of packages on our website. But it's unique in that we have people staying here for all different varying lengths of time, and so we also have the capacity to have larger events here, and we've had some really successful ones in the past. Just recently we had one called Medicines from the Edge, which is like a medicinal plant convergence that happens in Costa Rica every year, where herbalists and people who work with natural medicine, healers, teachers from all around were able to come and give talks, give plant walks, give medicine making workshops and things like that. And we had, I believe, 120 people here. We had live music for 2 nights, and in the back we set up these beautiful glamping tents, and we have a little tent village out there with these spaces that we set up so that we do have the capacity for larger scale events. We had an event here called Jungle Camp about 2 years ago, where we had, I believe, around 200 people here. And it's really nice to see this farm kind of functioning at its fullest capacity, really thriving, because this place can literally turn into a village overnight. And we really do have, this kitchen is one of the best organized and most vibrant kitchens I've ever seen in my life, and we really can easily cook for 150 people in there. And so we do have the infrastructure, and that's another thing that we want to start doing more of, is hosting larger scale events here where people can really come and get to experience the community feel of this place in sort of a pop-up fashion for a specific event. So these are Howler Monkeys, and we've got lots of groups of them that are native to our farm. You can hear them making those calls, and they're super territorial. They sometimes have little battles. Yeah, can you see them up in that tree?
I can see them.
Just to the left of that palm tree, there's one up there. And they come and eat the fruits. They really like to eat the leaves of the artocarpus trees that we have here. They like to eat the leaves of the breadfruit and the bread nut, and a lot of other leaves. And they'll make their way. We have different sort of wildlife corridors, or areas where we've left as much primary forest as possible, on the back of our property, and we try to still leave enough large trees so that they can come and kind of use them as ladders and make their way across the property. And it's definitely a bonus getting to wake up to Howler Monkeys. And sometimes they will fight, or they'll throw fruit at each other. They will throw fruit or feces at you.
Really?
That's totally happened. And yeah, it's.
You want to see if we can get some poop on the camera lens? Hey!
This is a Panama Hat Palm, and it was used to make Panama hats.
Really?
Yeah. And it's also a really delicious edible heart of palm that we have. There's a couple of different varieties of palm that we harvest for food. They make really good heart of palm ceviche, and this is one. This is not such a tender one. Sometimes when you pull them out, you'll see those kind of whiter shoots, and if you pull one out that's early on in its growth, it has a really delicious edible little tip that you can snap off, just like you would snap off, the end of an asparagus or something like that. This one might be a little better. Here we go. So you just go like this, and then the tender part will snap right off, and you can give that a shot. Pass it around.
Looks like kind of heart of palm. Whoa, that's really tender.
Yeah.
Mm. I see some coral honeysuckle over here to the right. Is that what that is with the flowers?
Where are you showing?
I see those flowers over here. Kind of looks like coral honey. Now they're looking different shape now.
Yeah, dude, this is
We've seen. Go ahead, tell us.
This is a medicinal plant. It's called Hombre Grande.
Hombre Grande.
The big man.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And it's got a really interesting leaf structure.
Yep.
And this is one of our.
Has that Inga structure almost with the wider.
Yep. Exactly. Really, really beautiful flowers. And this one is really good.
Gorgeous fruits.
For your for tummy issues, for digestion. We make a tincture out of this. You can also you can take the leaves and chop them up and make a decoction. You can use the bark as well. Oh, we got a blue morpho flying over there. It's also really good anti-parasitic. It's really good for parasites that people pick up around here. This is one of our go-to medicines in our apothecary for the plethora of digestive issues that living in the jungle can bring to people. guys for joining us, and I hope that can give you guys a little glimpse into what we're doing here at Punta Mona, and what's going on in the global permaculture scene. Come on down and check us out, or hop on social media. Follow us on Instagram at Punta Mona, puntamona.org. Check it out, and feel free to drop us a message on Facebook or Instagram. We've got a lot of cool things coming up in the near future. We've got PDCs not too far away, and then we have a herbalism intensive coming up with Sarah Wu. And so feel free to hop on there and check out some of those things that we're offering in the near future. And we look forward to seeing you guys down here soon. Thank you. Pura vida.
Pura vida. This site is epic. Lots going on here. All I could say is come to Costa Rica. Check this joint out, because this film is not doing any justice. So don't forget, like, subscribe, share. Most importantly, pound dirt.